So, number one, I got a new camera and I got a new mic, so we're doing great. Number two, we are going to the Van Gogh Museum or Beyond Van Gogh Museum today, and it's like an exhibit, so it's super interactive and I'm extremely excited to go. But yeah, so we will have studio vlogs because I do have a bunch of unfinished works. Like that down there is a set of unfinished work. There's a piece for a friend that is going to be streaming. I have a Joker collection that got started that needs to be worked on, and then on the desk is the main thing that needs to be done first. It started out as, we're doing makeup, by the way. This is my Ultra Precise brow pencil, but it started out, and my mirror is behind me, so I'm gonna be talking or be looking somewhere else. But the painting that's on my desk started out as the Living Tribunal against Dr. Manhattan, because I genuinely feel that maybe Dr. Manhattan he would get his ass beat, but he would absolutely be able to hold himself for a little while, and I thought that would be cool in a painting. But I was having an issue with the scaling of Dr. Manhattan in his body, so I painted over it white, and then I was listening to Comics Explained, and they were talking about Dr. Fate, and I think that was a video, but I don't want to be wrong, but I want to say it was that video, but I could be wrong. But someone said that Dr. Fate and the Living Tribunal could, like, go head to head, and I was like, holy shit, that would be a better DC Marvel matchup. So that's kind of where I was going with that, but we're working on it. I'm just trying to find something that I'm comfortable scaling next to an already done Living Tribunal. But yeah, for right now our eyebrows are done. I'm gonna eventually use gel on them, but right now I am not. I'm gonna go in with my Hollywood Flawless filter for Superstar Youth Glow. But yeah, so the scaling on that is difficult. I'm trying to figure it out, but I think Dr. Fate will probably be easier, because the main thing about Dr. Manhattan and painting him is that it's basically like drawing the Anatomy Man. So it's not like you have a good amount of like clothing to hide where you're weak in certain areas. So like it lacks a lot of detail. It's very flat on top of that. So like if you're not a strong artist in that sense, you can very easily like fuck that up, in my opinion. And I'm just not there yet. Like I can draw Dr. Manhattan in Procreate no problem, but I can't focus. I can't right now get the scaling right. So I'm just gonna completely move on from the Dr. Manhattan aspect and pick another character, because there are some other characters, like we talked about Dr. Fate, that would be a good one. And because it's less anatomically focused, I can work something out with that. But the other thing that made that painting hard is the fact that the Dr. Manhattan was on the left side, and I know that sounds like, what are you talking about? But there's something about the left side of my paintings that it's just not as strong. So I stopped painting on like one side first. I'm just using my Maybelline Fit Me for my concealer, but I stopped painting on one side first on most of my paintings, and I started working in the middle first, because when I do that, I just feel a lot stronger about it and everything's a lot more even. When I start on one side, it's like the angling of your arm is different. So, and then you finish like a whole side and now you have to figure out how to get that exact same angle on the other side. And it's just like, that's not working for me. I'm not starting any other paintings until that painting is finished, which is why it's sitting up there as like, bitch, you're not allowed to start anything else until that's done. But like I said, I got a new camera. I was filming on my iPhone, and then I was filming in 4K, and then when I went to export it, I didn't have enough space to export it. So I was getting frustrated by the fact that I didn't have enough space, and then eventually, my friend and I are trying to start a podcast, so that was so rude of me. My best friend and I are trying to start a podcast. So we made an agreement that by January, we would have everything that we need to film this podcast, because we do want to do a video podcast, just because I think, like, I've seen a few people do it where they just have like a listener podcast, but I really like video podcasts. Like, my favorite podcast ever of all time, I have watched every single episode or listened to every single episode, is listener only, and it's so annoying. By the way, that podcast name is Morbid. It's a true crime podcast, but I love the hosts. Like, they are so great, and they don't just do true crime. Like, they do have like this I'm contouring and bronzing with my Milani concealer. Anyways, they are listener only, and my favorite thing that they do is like a palette cleanser, and they like got some heat for it in the last week or so about how they were only doing spooky content, and they were only doing paranormal stuff. And I was like, yeah, but we've been listening to murder for like ever, and that has got to be tough reading that all the time. Like, because they research all their own stuff, they write their own scripts. I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty cream blush. This is in Rose Latte. If you see me focusing, we're learning together with this camera. We're learning together, okay? We're just trying to figure out how the focusing works and stuff. So this is kind of like a test vlog. I'm going in with my, now I can actually look at the camera. No! How dare you? I didn't even drop this. This is annoying. I can't show it to you. It's my Fenty Beauty foundation powder. I literally can't show it to you because it's falling apart. Oh my god, it won't even close now. Over. But I'm using my Tartelette and Bloom palette, so I'm going to use this shade for contour. I'm going to use the blush, and then I'm going to use the highlight. Yes, I am using all one palette. It's so great. You do not need to have multiple palettes in your life. You don't. So yeah. We're done with our makeup. I'm gonna go do my hair and then be on my fucking way. Okay, so I was gonna show you my outfit when I got done getting ready, but that didn't happen. We are filming, and I have like 2 shots going on right now. One shot is just me because I'm talking to you guys, and then I have my other shot, which you'll see on the screen, of me, so that you can see like what I'm doing, because we're doing like a little studio sesh. I'm just trying to figure out how to sketch this is like the main thing, because yeah, so so I think if I start here, that's good. That's working out in a way that I like. Okay. Yay. So, while I'm sketching this, I'll update you guys about my health issues. So much fun. I am currently going through some issues that at this point, I can't tell if it's anxiety or if it's real heart issues, which I'm going to err on the side of caution and say that it is real heart issues, because I have data to show that it is. And why I say that is that I've had anxiety since 2019, maybe 2018. Maybe 2018. But with that, I've never experienced such dramatic physical responses, which is what I've been experiencing. So it's super great. I don't know how much of it is in my head. So with that being the case, I am having a difficult time with the fact that my blood pressure is high. So am I overweight? Yes. I'm not going to deny that. It's been said by people that have watched or looked at my pictures since high school. You're so fucking nice for letting me know or letting other people know that I've gained weight. I'm well aware of that. I've gained weight, and with that being the case, I've always had high blood pressure, even as a kid. Like at the doctors, they would double take my blood pressure. And like I was talking to my dad about this whole thing going on, and he was like, "Do you ever remember your blood pressure being high?" And I was like, "Yeah, like that shit used to happen as a kid." And they would be like, "Is your blood pressure always this high?" And I'm like, "I'm a kid. I don't fucking know what high blood pressure even means." So, yeah, that's always been a thing. But it's never been a thing to where it's caused alarm for anyone, including myself. So like I've never felt my blood pressure get high. I felt my heart rate be high, but I've never felt my blood pressure be high, and I've never felt it be high because of my anxiety. So this was a little different, because when you have an anxiety attack, sometimes, at least for me, and I'm only going to speak in terms of me, it feels like your chest is getting tight, it feels like you can't breathe, feels like your heart rate's going up, but then you go and check it and there's nothing wrong. So in my case of my blood pressure getting astronomically high, that's not what happened. Like, I felt my heart start pounding. I was sitting at my desk at work, and I felt my heart start pounding, and it was not okay. Like, I was like, holy shit, what is going on? And I also started to get dizzy, and that's where I was like, excuse me, what's going on here? So I started to get dizzy. Oh my god, you can't even see the sketch. Oh, you can, kind of. Oh well. So I felt my chest getting like crazy, and I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to die. So I went downstairs because I work on the second floor of a 4-story building. And I went downstairs and I was like, hey, I feel like I'm dying. And they were like, what, bitch? And I was like, my heart rate is at 165. I didn't do anything. I literally wasn't even doing work because most of my work was done. So I didn't need to do anything anymore. So I was just sitting there sectioning out the Witcher book into chapters because it's a lot easier for me to read that way. And my heart just started pounding, and I stood up, and it just started getting worse and worse and worse. And I was like, okay, like, this is just not gonna work for me. And I was like, this is what my blood pressure's at. And they were like, holy shit, this is what my heart rate's at. So they had someone from HR come down and check my blood pressure. Well, my blood pressure was 146 over 100, which I've never seen. So that's where everybody was like, hold the fucking phone. Like, this is not okay. We called 911. I get there, or they get here, and they were like, hey, it's starting to come down now. Are you stressed? And I was like, no, I don't feel like I'm stressed. And they were like, well, sometimes stress can manifest itself differently, and it can be like you don't feel like you're stressed, but your body is stressed. So I got slightly frustrated because I'm like, what the fuck? This all just happened, and now they're here and nothing's going on. So that was kind of annoying, but it was also like, okay, like, it went down on its own, whatever. That's a good scaling. I think it can stop there. And then it can start here and come down. And that can be his waistline there. And that's gonna cinch up. So we are getting somewhere. All right. And we're just gonna cut that down. And then we know that this piece can start to scoop. Okay, so that's where we're gonna stop. We laid a good foundation here. So we've got his whole upper body minus his hand and minus his other hand. We have his whole lower body. We've got boots and all. And I think we have laid a very great framework, which is what we were trying to do. So, we're gonna stop it here, and that is the end of our vlog. Yeah, so like I said, I have an appointment with my primary care and I'm hoping to find some answers from that. And I will update you guys as we go along. Thank you all for watching and I hope you like this video.